spoiler alert, this is what everything's going to look like at the end. So thank you so much for being here. This is my first video in 2019, starting up a YouTube hobby, and I'm really stoked. This video is just the beginning of a journey, I hope, and I had a lot of fun putting on my makeup. I always have fun putting on my makeup, but I really had fun just starting this process. And if you're here, if you're watching, thank you so much. Whoever you are, just know that it does mean a lot to me that you're here, you clicked on my video, you're watching me give gab for a little bit. I hope that you enjoy the video. I hope you learn something in it, or that you just feel that you have someone to chit chat with, somebody who maybe is relatable to you in some way, either for having a love of makeup or a love of listening to somebody ramble while you do other things. So I'm going to turn it over to barefaced Alycia, and I hope that you enjoy, and I hope that I see you the next time I turn on the camera. Bye-bye! Hello, the internet. I'm Alycia, and just like any good dysfunctional millennial, I'm having trouble making friends in real life. So, I'm taking myself to the internet in hopes that I'll have better luck here. Today I'm going to be doing my makeup. I'm going out for tacos tonight, and my hope today was that I would be able to do my first YouTube video and use my camera and use my new lighting and be all cool, but then my battery was dead and I'm now filming on my laptop. I also live right next to a busy street and I get a lot of traffic noise, so please forgive anything that you feel like you need to forgive. And if you feel like hanging out and just, when I watch YouTube videos, I just feel like it helps me pass the time and it's something for me to feel like I'm not alone. And so if that's you, or if you're interested in just watching me go from this to whatever we end up with at the end, then this video is for you. This video is for me. I hope we have fun, and I hope I end up looking cute. So this is the Stellar Brilliant Primer. I just got it from Sephora, and I read some good reviews on it. And I was hoping to find something moisturizing, and this feels really nice. I've used it 3 times. I guess this would be my 3rd time. And I'm not positive that it really does a lot for me. I've been having dry skin. I guess in the winter that's pretty normal for people. This feels really, really nice, but I don't know how it's helping my foundation to sit, because I've noticed, I think it's some of the products that I've been using, but I've noticed that some of them are sitting on my skin a bit more than others, especially around my nose and dry spots like on acne and areas that are not perfect, meaning all of my areas. So I'm trying that. I'm gonna let it sit, but I'm going to do my eyeshadow first. And today, I'm not the kind of person who just uses one eyeshadow palette, because I'm such an enthusiast about makeup. I have a ton. I have way too much, which is part of why I wanted to do YouTube videos and use what I have. But I don't tend to just use one palette. More often than not, I like to mix in different textures, different finishes, different colors, and use more of what I have. And since everything is just right here for me, it's pretty easy for me to just lean over, open a drawer, rifle through for something interesting, and then pull it out and mix it together. So my plan today, what I already have pulled out, is the Natasha Denona Gold palette, and she looks like this on the inside, and I think it's really beautiful, and that's a motorcycle. So I have this little guide that I bought at Christmas time with a $100 gift card that I got for being Sephora Rouge at the time. I'm not anymore, and I'm actually planning to push far more of my business toward Ulta, even though there are some brands like Natasha Denona that I would like to buy from Sephora. So I've got this one, and then I also pulled out my Adept Cosmetics sort of like a freestyle palette, and I'm hoping nothing is broken in here since the last time I opened it when things had broken. And in here I've got These are actually Lunatic Cosmetics individual powders here from one of their contouring books. And then I've also got highlighters from different brands, including Cliona Cosmetics, Love Luxe Beauty, this one, Luxie Beauty, and then some single eyeshadows. And then on the other side of this divider, I've got all of these really gorgeous single eyeshadows. These two columns over here are primarily Makeup Geek. And then here in this section, these are primarily from a brand called Sydney Grace Cosmetics, which is an independently owned brand. I've interacted with the owner a little bit on social media, and she's extremely sweet, and their powders, like the shadow powders, are really amazing. So I want to mix some of these single shadows in with some of the gold palette, and then I'm probably also going to add just straight up glitter on top of that. So I think it'll be fun. I have fun doing makeup, and I have fun looking at these kinds of colors and trying to get inspired. Speaking of inspiration, one of the people that I really love online is Angelica. She is from Sweden, and she seems really sweet. I also like that she's a gamer girl, which I relate to. And she usually says about her makeup that she doesn't go for perfect, she goes for good enough. And that's sort of my philosophy for makeup as well. I don't go for the perfect blend, the perfect application, but I love just putting it on, and I love looking at it after it's on. But the process of putting on makeup is just fun for me. So I'm not going to make my face shape be different. I'm not going to make it more symmetrical or more beautiful. So I just like to play with colors and have fun versus trying to make myself look like some specific idea in my head. I would say one of the challenges I didn't foresee in starting to record videos of me putting on my makeup was that you really need to have everything very well organized so that you're not making a ton of noise rifling through your drawers and opening plastic and trying to unzip containers that have other products in them. So I think my current approach of just pulling different products based on kind of where the look is taking me, I don't know that that's going to work anymore, because I might need to really just put everything out in front of me so that I know what I'm going to do, and I'm not wasting time finding products, getting them out, etc. So Smashbox 24-hour photo finish shadow primer. It's just what I have. I don't have specific loyalties for primers. I don't always use them. Sometimes I just use concealer. But I find that when I use them, generally my makeup comes out better. But I don't ever really go buy an eyeshadow primer. I will just use my concealer or samples of primers that I've gotten in the past. So far I haven't really needed to just go specifically buy an eyeshadow primer. Also, I will say this, before anyone gets concerned in any way about my eyebrows, they are uneven, but I wear my bangs and I cover them, and I would say my eyebrows are the area of my makeup application that I'm the least confident in. But I also care about it a little less. I'm not the kind of person who's going to have perfect eyebrows. I'm not going to have that sculpted Instagram thing, because I'm going to wear my makeup out into the world. It's not just to put on in a video and then take off. Although sometimes I actually do that, where I put on makeup and I take a few pictures and then I take it off, but it's for the relaxation process and the creative process for me, rather than trying to get a perfect look for a perfect picture, if that makes sense. So, and even if it doesn't make sense, I always find that to be a weird phrase, if that makes sense, because if it doesn't make sense, you still said it and you still mean something. So, okay, so let's just grab, this is I don't know, do you care what I'm using, or do you just want to watch it? Do I care to show what I'm using? It's a little dark from my brow bone. but maybe I can lighten it with something else. There's not a brow bone shade in the Natasha Denona gold palette, and I guess I don't have like a bone color. This is the Sigma E25. I want to see if I can basically do what I normally do, which is I'm probably just going to use this one brush for almost all of my eyeshadow. I know that a lot of people on YouTube who I watch will switch between 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 brushes when they're doing their eyeshadow. But I would like to just see how far I can get with this one. And I really like that idea and that concept because I'm on the side of the spectrum of makeup enthusiasts who has an absolute ton of makeup. But not everyone does, and not everyone should. So I would like to every so often do things where I just use one brush for my eyes and one brush for my entire face. I'm realizing that my outfit right now has me concerned about whether I should do a warm toned or a cool toned look today, because everything I'm wearing is more cool toned, but the gold palette that I just pulled out is obviously very warm toned, unless maybe I use the teal from it. So maybe that's what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna go in with a light pink transition type color. I'm one of the people who tends to go lightest to darkest as opposed to darkest to lightest with my eyeshadow colors and blending. And one of the things that I feel like is really flipping hard is to look at both of your eyes and see whether your amount of pigmentation and blending matches on both sides. I don't know why I'm bad at that, but I always feel like it's a challenge. And I think some other people are much better at doing that and making that comparison. I guess we will go cool tone today because that's more rare for me. I tend to do more warm toned eyeshadow looks, but I tend to have more cool toned face products. Okay, same brush, and I've gone into a gray color that I'm laying down in my crease. And I start on I usually break my eye into thirds. I usually start on the outside third or in the center, but I never start in here. So here's my question, does that look blended to you? I don't know that I can say it looks blended to me. But I'm trying to use very soft touch. This is a soft brush. And since my face isn't perfectly symmetrical, the way that my brow bone and the hood on my eye differs on each side. So I feel like that's another challenge to getting both sides to match. I don't tend to be huge into tapping off my brushes. I prefer to just touch into the shadows lightly rather than putting on a bunch of product and then tapping off the excess. I try just not to pick up the excess in the first place. Like how do you see them both to make them the same? Like already I feel like this one's blending nicer than this one did, but this is my crap eye that I cover with my bangs. Just catching myself becoming a mouth breather. What I really want right now is a nap. One of the other things that I do with my makeup that's probably a little weird is I will flip my clothes inside out and wipe my brush off in there if I don't have my color switch handy. I'm not going to say that that's a good technique, but especially if I'm wearing black, I just flip my clothes inside out, rubby rub, and then flip them back again. Mouth breathing again. What do you think? I don't think they ever look even, but also my eyes aren't even. They're not the same on both sides. And I suppose one of the goals of makeup would be to make it look the same on both sides, but I'm not quite that good. So on this side, the space between the two creases in my eyes is a little bit wider, and on this side, they're just different. What do you want? They're just different. And what are you gonna do? Just give up and not put makeup on because you're never gonna look perfect? No, it's still fun. It's very relaxing. That seems pretty good for me, or at least, you know, falls into the good enough category. We'll come in here. I'm thinking of doing a half cut crease because that's what I tend to really like doing. And because I got out the gold palette, I am going to skip over all of the gorgeous gold tones in here, and I'm just going to focus on that teal so that I can still build out this cool toned look that I'm going for. And I think that this will go. We'll see. And I'm just gonna keep using this same Sigma brush. I'm hungry. Looking forward to these tacos tonight. So when I put the shadow on my lid, I get a fair amount of pigment on the brush, and I try to angle the brush in toward my nose, and I lay it down on that outside corner of the eye, that outer third of the mobile lid, and I drag it in toward my nose. That way I don't end up going and blowing out the outside corner there too much, and it helps me diffuse. And after you can still see that there's some pigment on the brush, which is probably a little bit of staining, but once I've mashed as much of the pigment on that outside corner as I can, I will then start dragging in and sort of blending the color into the crease a little bit, but I'm not putting my brush there when it's got fresh pigment on it. I'm only putting the brush up into the crease after I've already pasted as much of the shadow as I could on my lid. So that's what's going on there. I think that's cute. I hope that's cute. If it comes out really poorly, right now it's only 3:30 and I'm not meeting everyone until 6:30, I think. So I'll just say no big deal, and take it off and do something else. So I'm doing the same thing on this side, placing the brush on the outside corner and then dragging it in. And I think this is one of the ways that I get my brushes to multitask for me. And if you're anything like me in your distaste for washing your makeup brushes, sometimes it's nice not to dirty a half dozen of them, and it can be a little bit better to get just a few messy. And I also think it's nice to discover ways that you can maximize the products that you do have so that you don't feel so desperate for the new. Well, I need this one to blend my crease, and I need that one to blend my outer corner, and I need this third one to pack onto the lid, and then I need the fourth one so that I can cut the crease, and I need this little tiny one for my inner corner. I'm not gonna focus on all of that. I'm just going to use this guy, and I'll use my finger, and maybe I'll use one other brush. But the point for me isn't, I want to use as many of my eyeshadows as I can, but I don't feel the same about my brushes because, girl, I really don't like washing them very much at all. So I think that's pretty, but I want to get a little bit more, so I'm going to go ahead and use my finger. Oh, it's so soft and beautiful. And just tap it. Tappy tap. Tappy tap tap. And then I'll buff out the edges, and then I'll do it again. Because like I said, for me, the makeup process is enjoyable, not just the outcome. Oh God, Miley Cyrus, it's the climb. Maybe I should name my YouTube channel, It's the Climb. It's the makeup climb. That's embarrassing. I don't follow Miley Cyrus or any other celebrity really. So that would be very ignorant of me. See, I think that's better. And I did put a little bit more on the brush, more of the pigment, more of the eyeshadow so that I could blend out the edges without taking away the pigment. Okay, is that fun? Is that nice and fun? Hello? I hope so. I think it's... Now I feel like the blend is better on this eye. What have I done? I can't tell if those are freckles or if I've left Thin Mint chocolate on my face. Okay, I think that's pretty good for right now. Okay, so I'm setting aside the gold palette for just a little second here. And this is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. It's $6. I got mine at Ulta, and mine's in the shade Light 12. I'm going to try to do a cut crease, but I'm just going to use the wand from this. Hi, Fire and Rescue. I'm not sold on this for spot concealing, and I'm not positive how I feel about it under the eyes, but I am feeling okay about it on my lids. Yeah. Instead of doing like a harsh cut crease, I think maybe I'll go for something a bit softer so that I can really commit to this whole, I'm not going to, I just look down like that so that I would see where it's going to crease on my eyelids just naturally so that I can follow that line and avoid it creasing up later where I don't want it to. Yeah, so that's fun, right? Right. What is it about for you guys? What do you like? coming to YouTube for? Do you like people who are completely perfect in their makeup? Or do you like coming for company? Are you coming to just be inspired about new ideas? Or are you coming because you want help figuring out how to do makeup? Why are you here? Why are you here? Huh? Huh? Why are you here? Okay. Not too bad. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. My older sister and I, her name is Nicole, I call her Coley or Dakota. My older sister and I will, you know, compare our makeup pretty often, and we'll talk about what we've done and what we used, and we both watch YouTube and we'll talk about who we've seen and what we liked. And when we're doing our own makeup, it's fun because we'll just, regardless of what, you know, she'll be like, oh, my eyeshadow doesn't look perfect, or I'm really frustrated with how my contour looks today. And then we just remind each other, you know, regardless of whether you don't think it looks perfect, it's still going to look better than basically everybody else at whatever event you're going to or wherever else you're going. Just because we're both so enthusiastic about makeup, we have the opportunity to nitpick our looks because we're so into it, and because we're now that we've been practicing for, I don't know, like 8 years, we're at the level where, okay, even if I do a pretty crappy job, it's still better than most people in the world who are using, you know, 2 eyeshadow color. And that's not to be disparaging to the people who are only using a few makeup products, very select makeup products. I think that's great. I just mean among enthusiasts, you're already putting yourself sort of in a different tier of makeup consumption, and normal people probably aren't going to care that your cut crease isn't exactly perfect. They're still thinking, oh wow, you did something different and unique, and that's cool, hopefully. So the fact that it's not perfect is just, it's fine. That's just fine. Still probably going to look better than, you know, it's definitely going to look better than what I could do 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 2 years ago. My favorite thing that sticks out when I think about when I was learning makeup was how Nicole treated me when I was learning how to blend my eyeshadows. And I would do my eyeshadow and she would say, oh, that's not blended. So I would go in with a brush and I'd blend, and then I would say, okay, now is it better? And she would just tell me that I had blended everything away and there's nothing left. And she said, well, put it back on. You just blended it all off. Then I'd put it back on and she'd say, okay, now blend it. And then I'd blend and then the eyeshadow would be gone. And it was just this horrible cycle. And I was just, God, why can't I get this? Now I think I get it, and I understand using a lighter touch and using more pigmented eyeshadows. But at the time, I was so frustrated. What do you mean it's gone? Okay, so as I said, I'm going to try to just keep using this one same eyeshadow brush. And this one is calling my name right now. It's purpley. This is Kaleidoscope, which is a pigment by Makeup Geek. And I don't have a viewfinder, and my laptop screen thing is black now, so I can't see what you see, but this is just, it's so freaking pretty. And when Makeup Geek came out with these, they came out in loose pigment jars, more like these, but they also came out with them in a pressed form, which is what I ended up buying. I think I bought, I don't know, 5. And Kaleidoscope might be one of the only ones that I have left because mine came broken, which was a sadness, but that's life. So I'm just going to get it onto the same brush, and when I pick up these shimmery colors on a fluffy brush that's not made for picking up the colors, I kind of wiggle it in there and press it into the bristles. And then I'm just going to see where I get from tapping it on over top of the ColourPop concealer. So I'm doing very short draggy motions. Dragging motions. I'm dragging the brush in a very short stroke before returning back to layer it up some more. And I think that's pretty, so I'm gonna do the same thing, get a bunch of pigment on the brush, and then do it again. And then I'll take the cleaner side of the brush and I'll go backwards from the outside, and I've now lightened it up, so I'll go back in with the gold palette and take that dark teal and go over top of this so it's not shiny on the outside corner, on the outside third here. That's pretty. So I'm basically covering the center of my lid with that, and then I'll do another brighter color on the inside third, which will probably end up getting covered with glitter. But in the meantime, my other eye. Just using those short little strokey motions in both directions. I always feel like I hear the L sound in the word both. I feel like sometimes I say both. That's not how the word is spelled, and I don't think that's how it's supposed to be said. Okay. You could also use your finger. I will probably use my finger for the inner third, but now I'm going to go back into the gold palette to get the goods. From that teal color. And I'm not cleaning off my brush in between. That might be a big boo-boo for some, but I can only hear about so much, and that's not one of the things that I will choose to care about. So just going back over, and again, I'm pulling it all toward my nose into the center of my face as opposed to flicking it out, because I don't want to extend that color out too far. I'm just not feeling that. And I feel that the kaleidoscope shadow is coming up very bluey tealy as opposed to the more purple shift that I see, and possibly that's because I'm putting it right next to this. This one is called Disturbia from Looksy Beauty. Maybe I'll put that there first and then layer another color on top. So I'll just rub that. And then do little tappies over that concealer with just the tip of my pinky. And I tend to use my right pinky for my right eyelid and my left pinky for my left eyelid. Ooh, you know what I should do maybe today is I should just draw the glitter on the cut crease instead of covering my lids with glitter. Maybe I'll do that. So get a little bit of pigment and tap it on. I don't do big swipes like if you were doing a swatch on your arm, you know how you like drag the whole thing across. When I put it on my eyelids, I do much short, the same way I did with the brush. I do much shorter strokes because my goal is to deposit the color as opposed to spreading it out over a larger surface area. That's when I think the dragging motions are helpful. But when you're packing on shadows, you want to keep your strokes more in a constrained area where you're hoping to get the pigment to land. And the blending isn't perfect, it never is. So I'll just kind of go over a little bit with this same brush without any more pigment on it. And I'm mostly touching my skin with the side that doesn't have pigment. I mostly pack the pigment onto this side of the brush, and on this side I'm going to have these bristles more so touching my skin when I'm blending. And so far, I think this is still pretty nice, and I don't think, for a makeup enthusiast, I think they would assume that you had used more than just one brush. I don't think this looks particularly sloppy to indicate that it was only one brush. And I think, I mean, perhaps you could call it cheating if you consider the doe foot applicator in here to be a brush. I'm one of those people that does the lids, the upper lids, then I'll do my face makeup, and then I'll finish off with the under eye area later. So there's blush, bronzer, highlight. I did not contour. I didn't do that. I don't tend to unless I'm really going for it. But I do use the bronzer to sort of sculpt my face a little bit. So let's go for the under eye area where, once again, I'm just gonna go straight back to the Sigma brush and use this and my fingers, and we'll call it a day. And then we're gonna look and see what kind of amazing glitter we can put on. So I'm gonna go back into the Natasha Denona Gold palette and go back into the teal and take a little bit just on the very end of the brush. So this time I've taken the taper of the brush and I've concentrated the actual powder on the very tip of the taper because I don't really want it on the sides. And I'm gonna go from underneath my lower lashes, and I'm just gonna gently, lightly brush it on the outer third of my lower lash line. And as there's less pigment on the brush, I'm going to run it up to meet the color from my upper lid. And again, I am not trying to go too far down, and I didn't add a whole lot onto my brush there. But you can see that level of definition on this eye versus this one. And I think now I feel like a mermaid. I didn't feel like a mermaid before, but now that I've got this going here, I feel mermaidy. So I'm gonna do the same thing again, just on the tip of the brush, just getting a little bit of pigment, not on the sides. And then I'm going to just run it right under my lashes in this small area. And then as the pigment gets deposited on my skin, I'm gonna very gently increase the surface area over which I'm running the brush, and I'm gonna carry it up into the teal of the outer corner from the upper eye. And I think that is so stinking pretty. That makes me think of Regina George asking, "So you agree? You think you're really pretty?" I'm not saying I'm really pretty, I'm saying the eyeshadow is really pretty. And I love the effect it gives, but yeah, yes, I do think I'm really pretty. Especially when I put on glitter and it just makes me feel really happy, that's when I feel really pretty. So I don't want to do a whole lot more on that yet, but I'm going to go back into the same two colors from before, the Kaleidoscope from Makeup Geek and the Disturbia from Looksy Beauty. And I probably will just use my fingertips again. I mean, I'll start with this using the same exact technique of just getting it on the very tip of the brush instead of the sides. But I don't feel quite so confident. Yeah, I feel like that would give you a really nice diffused look, and if you're one of the people who would try to use a more colorful shadow, but you don't want it to look so heavy, use fluffier brushes and you can diffuse it a lot more. It'll look way more sheer, and that can make it a lot more wearable than packing on the pigment like I do. But, oh, see, okay, it built up. So that's effing lovely. Okay, so I'm just going to do it a few times. I think I'm getting the pigment in my eyeballs, but do I care? Nope. Do I want to cry glitter? Yep. If I'm going to cry, and I will, I would like to cry glitter. So I also go down a little bit below this line where I get that creasing. Whew, eyeballs. And I let this kind of camouflage that line a little bit. Oh my gosh, I feel really pretty. I feel like this shimmer is just so beautiful. I feel like it's really nice. So for the last one, the Disturbia color, I'm going to just go ahead and do it with my finger because I want it to be a smaller surface area and I don't want to blend it out and buff it so much. So that's how much pigment I've got. And I tilt my pinky so that it's about half of that surface area that's actually going to touch my skin at a time. And that's how I keep it kind of concentrated. And as the pigment is wearing off, I rotate my pinky so that I can keep adding a little bit more without increasing the surface area of pigment hitting my face. I hope that made sense. And if it didn't, ask me and I will explain it again using different words. I'm doing the same thing. And rotate my finger gently. And you can see I did not make this wide of a streak under my eye. I kept it very concentrated right under the corner of my eye there. And it doesn't go down as far as the pigment that I just buffed on using the brush. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, using the same technique. Oh my gosh, look at me, I have techniques. So Disturbia from Alycia, and I think these are probably around $5. The Makeup Geek pressed pigments were probably $8 or $10. Goodness, so pretty. And go in for another one. Oh, I really, really like that. I think that's really nice. So I would like to add glitter. Because I keep saying I want to add glitter. So I'm going to take a quick inventory of what my glitter options are for adding something that might be more cool toned, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have two options that stood out to me most immediately. So the first one would be this Urban Decay Heavy Metal eyeliner in spandex. I read that as spanked. But this is spandex, and the reason that this would be nice is we could line the cut crease with the glitter and not add another brush because look, it's just this little, it's already got a brush built in. And then the other option would be to use this Stila Glitter and Glow in Perlina, which is more of a, it's got like a purple and gold duochrome kind of thing going on in there. And if I use this one, I would put it over top of where we put Disturbia. So maybe I can do both. And on the top, I'll line the cut crease with this dark blue glitter. And then on the bottom, I'll go over Disturbia and blend it into Kaleidoscope using my finger so that I have glitter both on top and on bottom. That seems like what I want to do. So I haven't really done this technique of making the thin line above the cut crease, and I don't even know if my cut crease is high enough to do that without the actual crease screwing it up, but we'll try. So I'm just gonna get some pigment on this little brush, and then we're just gonna hope and pray. And hoping and praying is a decent makeup technique. So, oh gosh. Oh, I'm so nervous. Does anyone else get nervous before you do like your winged eyeliner or anything you haven't tried before? I don't get nervous before I do my eyeshadow or any of my face stuff where I'm blending colors out. When I'm doing something that's more precision based, I feel like I kind of have to psych myself up. Once again, I'm not going for perfection. I'm going for good enough to achieve what I wanted and to have fun. And so far, so good. I'm doing very small sections. And I'm just trying to remind myself to breathe. And that if I screw up, it's okay. But I'm probably not going to screw up because I'm a winner. And that's that. So, I think that's cute. Do I think this belongs on Instagram? No. Do I think this belongs on my face? Yes. And I think if you mess up your glitter, you could probably just use like a Q-tip to clean it up and make it a little thinner. So maybe I'll try that after I do the other one, because it came out a little bit thicker, which isn't my fault. It's just the nature of like the bristles here flattening out a little bit. And I'm not too concerned. Hi, Cam. Cam's a little concerned. I'm not. Sorry, I know this is gonna be weird, but the placement of my hand and the mirror and the whatever is. Oh, good thing you're not seeing this because I'm really screwing up. Made it way thick. It's harder to do this eye. I truly wish I were ambidextrous. That would be the funnest. Instead, I just have to struggle through. Which is rude, and left-handed people right now are just telling me that I am abusing my right-handed privilege by complaining about it, as if it's an actual problem, when it's not. Okay, this side actually does look better than the other side. Okay, I'm happy with this. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to be enough to make you happy. So, yeah, that's pretty. Okay, so my battery's gonna die. Let me plug it in. Hi, baby. I'm going to have to cut all of this. Oh no! Ugh! That sucked, asshole. I just smashed one of my eyeshadows with my cord. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, everything is spilling! OMG! Hi, beauty. Okay, timing. So that's what it looks like now with the little glitter liner that I did there. I think it's cute. I think it's nice. I'm going to put the other glitter under my eyes, and then I'm going to do maybe some eyeliner and mascara, and then put on a lip gloss, and then do my hair, and then come back and look beautiful, and it'll be fun. So yeah, then do this. So this one is Perlina. These are, I don't remember how much these are. I'm thinking $18 to $22. And I think the Stila ones are pretty consistent, $24 across the board. And I'm just gonna use the same applicator and tippy tappy it on. And then I'm going to tippy tappy that out with my finger. Like so. Oh, I love glitter. So yeah, you can see the brightening effect. You can see the difference on the two sides of that glitter. So tapping it on. This is more of an iridescent base, and I can see the purple and golden yellow reflects in it. And I've actually managed to keep everything pretty cool toned, which is cool. Hi, Cam. So I think that's really pretty. So that's where the eyeshadow is with the glitters applied. My plan at this point is to add some eyeliner, and I might even do something fun like a purple or a blue or something, and add mascara, and then I'll do a lip gloss, and then I'll just go do my hair and come back all finished to sign off. So for mascara, I tend to always almost always wear waterproof mascara, and I am not specific. I like wetter formulas, especially for my top lashes, and I like drier formulas for my bottom lashes. But this is the Lash Sensational Luscious Full Fan Effect Mascara by Maybelline New York in their waterproof formula. And I've been using this and I like it a lot. I already have long lashes and they don't look like anything right now, but once I put on the mascara, you'll see. I am not the kind of person who wears false lashes almost ever. I've worn them a handful of times, but I'm not good at applying them. It's kind of like the brows. Like, it's just not what I think I need to spend my time on. For eyeliner, I've had this probably way too long, but this is a Stila Smudge Stick waterproof eyeliner, and mine's in ultramarine. And it's actually got little purple glitters in it. And it's not going to be quite so icy as the rest of this, so hopefully it'll add a nice little bit of contrast. I do not have much trouble doing my lower waterline, but I do sometimes have trouble doing my tight line on the upper lid. So I tend to just skip that. The other thing is I feel like I always want to do a different, like a black on the tight line and a different color on the waterline. And when I do that, I feel that the black often transfers onto the other color. So I might try to run a little bit of this on my tight line because I actually think it looks quite pretty. Hopefully you can see, ooh, I just stared straight into my light. Hopefully you can see the difference in this eye with the eyeliner and this eye without it. And that it just adds a little bit of definition without being too dark and heavy. Especially since I have this like blue glitter half moon. I just stabbed myself in the eye. Whenever I put on eyeliner on my waterline, and sometimes even it's just mascara, it just makes me feel more tired because I think my eyes feel a little sensitive, and it gives me that sensation like, oh, I must be tired because my eyes feel weird, but it doesn't stop me from putting makeup on. But if you do find that you have that sensitivity, you can try different brands, and you can also just try not doing the thing that makes you feel sensitive. Like, if I really cared to not have sensitive eyes, I would just stop putting eyeliner on my waterline because that's what gets me. And I feel that for tight lining, the outside is really easy, but when you get to the inside, I just find it a little bit trickier. So I just tend not to do it. But I do want to get a point right here for just not making crazy faces while I'm doing this, because I think that that's one of the things that we all like, ugh. I'm not doing it, girl. I'm just keeping my eyes on the prize. So that, to me, soup's pretty. We'll do a couple coats of the mascara. And it might just be the lighting, it might be the fact that this is the best I've felt in several weeks, but I do feel that my eye color is really popping in real life, and I also don't feel that this combination, that was Cami shaking, this combination of eyeshadows is too dark because the inner corners are so nice and bright. So when I do my mascara, like I said, I prefer a more wet formula for my upper lashes because I don't want to spend such a long time trying to build it up. But on the lower lashes, it's nice to have a drier formula for me because I want less coating, because I definitely, because my lower lashes are long, I'll get that twiggy effect, and I don't always want that. So usually I use a drier formula that's less coating on the lower lashes, Or I will do my upper lashes with the mascara wand and without loading it with any more mascara. After I finish doing the top lashes, I'll go in and do the bottom ones and define them a little bit so that they still stand out, but they're not long like this. And I hope that you appreciate my beautiful long lashes. I appreciate them for doing what they're doing. If you have short lashes, live in that strip lash life, or just embrace what you have. But if you want the look of long lashes, strip lashes are fine. They're not very expensive, especially if you get some of the Ardell ones. But if you already have long lashes and you're feeling pressured by the beauty community to wear fake lashes all the time, just why? You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. Just focus on the steps that make you feel good, that you think are fun, that you think are pretty, and just live your best. And I'm not going to focus it on the center so much, the center of my face, because I want to sort of give that illusion that they're farther apart and wider than they actually are. So I'm going to focus the mascara on the outside part more. And the last step for me is going to just be a lip. And I think that because we're eating, I think for my lip gloss, my lip choice, I'm going to just do a lip gloss that I can eat, have it wear off, and just reapply, and have something that's moisturizing because my lips have been kind of dry. And I think what I want to use is just my Fenty Gloss Bomb in Fenty Glow, which I think is the original, right here. It's just been sitting in my drawer, but you may be able to tell I've used about half of this. This was $18. It's a lovely lip gloss formula. The packaging is great. The applicator is really nice. It's a great gloss. Feels nice, smells nice, looks nice. Is nice. So that's that. I don't love the sound when it closes. That's that. I'm going to do my hair and I will be back to say goodbye as I'm on my way out the door for tacos. Okay, chicken nuggets, so here is the finished look with my hair did and my bangs faithfully covering my left eyebrow, which is just rude and never gets on board. So we just kind of neglect it as the little outcasts in the family. So I am not going to be wearing this tank top. I am probably going to be cold while we're eating tacos, so I'm going to put on actual clothing, but I wanted to just show you how everything looks all together, and I'm pretty happy with it. And this dark blue hair is actually pretty new for me, and I'm really feeling it. It looks good with the cool tone thing I've got going on here, so I'll probably just put on a hoodie and be really comfortable and reapply my delicious lip gloss when I'm all done eating, stuffing my face. I'm looking for a relaxing night, just chit-chatting with some people, my very few in-person contacts who are friendly to me. I'm not going to call them my friends fully, but they're definitely people I like who have a good energy and I feel good being around. So I'm looking forward to this, and I'm really excited and grateful that you spent this time here with me, and I hope you have a really amazing rest of your day, and I thank you so much. I'm not famous, I'm not cool. If you leave me a comment, I will obviously respond. I would be happy to, and I would be really grateful for any comments, any tips, feedback about my lighting, my setup, all of this stuff that's going to help me be better as I continue on in this YouTube journey thing. So thanks again. My name's Alycia, and it's been real.